Okay, so hello everyone, my name is Protagonist, you can call me Protag, and this is another Rush Duel video. We got the ban list today, this morning for me, really early in the morning, but I do have to go to work, and while I am working right now, I am working from home today, thankfully, so I am able to get this recording off so that I can hopefully, do whatever edits I might need to, just like slap some music in the background, and then get this out on the same day. But yeah, what do I want to talk about? The ban list is here. There are a few things that I hope to see. Obviously from the picture we are getting something that I've been wanting to see, which is a ritual spell being hit. Now, rituals have seen quite a bit of success in Rush Duel ever since its induction, right? Like, Magician of Black Chaos was such a strong deck, but they did hit it by targeting a lot of their level 4 monsters that have pushed the access to some of those ritual monsters a bit lower. However, we never saw the actual ritual spells be targeted. Now it looks like we are going to see a hit to at least Necromade Resize, which is the Necromade fusion spell, or not fusion, Necromade ritual spell that allows you to make either Necromade Ready or Necromade Lurker. Stitch is the only one that makes Lurker, which I think is okay because Lurker doesn't really, I don't think Lurker's that big of an issue if I'm being honest. But Ready bouncing everything is extremely strong, especially when there's not a lot of cards that are viable that protect itself from bouncing. Other than that, Monarchs I still would love to see be hit. Monarchs are still very strong. They were not touched in the previous ban list, and I really want to see some of their cards be hit as well. I've said this before, I want to see Drawk hit, or I want to see any of their draw spells be hit. Monarchs can still deep draw an insane amount if they have the right cards, and it's really gross, but they were being overshadowed by the popularity of Necromade just because Necromade plus the Defiant Souls is a very strong combo together, being able to get both sides of the ritual monsters out and, just being able to clear boards really efficiently. Alongside other things that I might want to see come out of the ban list, there were a few people that were talking about Legend Strike moving up from, I think, 2 to 3. I think that's totally fine. I don't think there's a lot of decks that really utilize the Legend Strike combo using Legend Magician and Legend Strike. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think the combo is just, I guess, outdated. I don't know. But I have seen decks like Voidalfer, however you want to pronounce it. They still use Legend Strike, but they only use Legend Strike itself just to get their level 4s out, which, helps them facilitate their combo to get into their fusion monsters, which I think is fine. I don't think that's really that big of a deal. I really want to see that deck succeed. I think it's a really cool deck. It's a pretty strong deck already as is. It obviously just gets beaten out by, the two best decks in the game. And what else? I don't know. There's some other cards I think that can get out of being limited or semi-limited. Animagica Gardna comes to mind as something that I feel like they could ease up on. I know that Animagicas are seeing a little bit of play. They are decently strong, especially with the Super Warline package, but I don't think Gardna is going to really affect them, or getting Gardna back to 3 I don't think is going to be that big of an issue. Maybe it will be, I'm not entirely sure if I'm being honest. I haven't played a lot of Animagica or gone up against a lot of Animagica recently, so I cannot tell. But yeah, let's just jump in and see what we get. Oh, what? I mean, okay, so we are starting with a newly banned card. Now, the only banned cards that we've had in Rush Duel so far have been ports from the advanced format, from the TCG, from the OCG, right? We have Barrier Statue of the Inferno banned, we have Vanity's Fiend banned. Both of them are terrible floodgates that really should never have been printed in the first place, but whatever. The next card banned is Harpy Lady 123. Now, this is the first Rush Duel original card to be banned on the ban list. This is shocking to me because, one, Harpies I feel like haven't really seen a lot of success recently. I feel like a lot of their key cards have been just shot to the ground ever since the dreaded Harpy hunt of last year. And so I guess they finally decided that, you know, this is where they want Harpies to go. They've decided on a direction of how Harpies should be played. And that is to never bring this card out ever again. Which, okay, I get it. You know, this is a very strong card. And really, you know, it's hard to get rid of. And usually once it gets played, the duel's over. And I completely get that it's terrible. But, you know, we haven't really seen it a lot, right? Like, right now, even in the 3v3s, like, I don't think there were a lot of people playing it. Maybe like a handful of people decided to test their luck with Harpies. But if they're gonna do this, then I feel like it would be okay to unlimit, I guess, some of the other Harpy ladies, right? It would only make sense, right? If you're gonna stop this, but then you want to facilitate like using the other Harpy lady fusions, right? You have 1 and 2, you have 2 and 3. Is it 1 and 2 and 2 and 3? That sounds right. But, you know, we can probably do some other things. I know I think Harpy Petmaster is still on this list somewhere. I don't know about that one being free or not, but I think the normal Harpy Lady numbers should be okay to be released back into the wild if they're going to let this one be locked up for the rest of time. So if that's the case, then we'll just have to see what the rest of the decks, or what the rest of the cards are. Newly restricted. Okay, only 2 cards. Well, okay. So this does do the thing that I want them to do, but not as much as I would hope, I guess, right? This is this is what Monarchs Triumph of the Monarchs, I believe is, well, I mean, that's what we call it in English, but this is the Monarch draw spell, which is really good because it allows you to draw 2 and then also do some graveyard hate by returning 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard back into their deck, which is really, really strong, especially when you're going up against, you know, cards that need to have something in the graveyard. For example, Necromaids. Necromaid rituals would love to spin their rituals in the graveyard without having to, you know, put too many of their graveyard main deck graveyard pieces back into the deck. So, you know, with this Monarch card, you're able to target those rituals, target any of their other key cards that they would love to retrieve from the graveyard back into their deck and, you know, stop them from playing. And putting this to 1 is fine. They can still draw a ton, right? Trade-off is still an option. Pot of Greed is still an option. Pot of Duality is obviously still there for them. And, you know, there's tons of ways for them to continue to draw cards. I don't think it's going to stop them entirely, but I think it prevents them from being really aggressive in the graveyard, which I think is a lot better. Necromaid Resize is being hit to 1. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is a card that really allows you to facilitate either Necromaid Ritual, but it does stop you from being able to spam Necromaid Ready as easily, right? Having this be the only way to get this card out is going to be a little bit difficult to try and like mill into, which I think is totally fine. But, you know, I feel like people are still going to be able to play this and then, you know, just focus on milling the card out. And I don't know. I think it's okay lowering the consistency of this card, but I would really rather have I'd really rather have this plus hits to, you know, Necromaid Lantern or the Maynir, Defiant Soul Maynir. I forgot the full name of it. I'll put it up on the screen. But those 2 cards I wish really could have gotten hit. Maybe they do get hit, but this is an okay start. I don't know how much this is really going to affect the overall power level of the deck. No way. Ryozai to 2? Okay. What do I think about Ryozai to 2? I honestly, I think it's fine. I know that people are going to complain. I know there's going to be some people who are going to be like, no, this should never have happened. Ryozai should stay at 1. It's way too good of a card. And I agree. Ryozai is a really good card, but I'm thinking of the top decks right now, and I don't really see them using Ryozai as efficiently as some of the decks used to before, right? Like, you really want to run something that also runs Ship of 7 Treasures in your deck. I know that Voidalfer does do that. They can do that because Heaven Star is a level 7, Lana is a level 7, So they do have ways to facilitate that plus the Ryozai. And I think that could be a little bit dangerous for sure, but the deck wasn't running Ryozai anyway, even while they were running Ship of Seven Treasures. I can say the same for the Animagicas. They also have a bunch of level 7s as well, but they also, or some of them maybe run the one Ryozai in the side deck, but I don't see it being main decked as much, just because they would rather have, they would rather have Animagicas on the board, right? But I guess if they want to try and, be a bit more defensive, this is a really good option to have. Maybe we're going to start seeing more decks put Ryozai in their main decks now, just because it's back in a more consistent form, I guess. But there's only a few decks that I feel like could effectively, there's a few decks that can efficiently use Ryozai to be able to, or to its fullest extent, right? Like, you can throw Ryozai into any pile or into any deck and, it could be okay. But I don't know. I feel like this protection is, the overall protection that it gets is also, it's also just really nice, if I'm being honest. Not a lot of cards have this protect, or not a lot of the top decks have protection for their back row. Valstorm is an option for the Defiant Souls and the Necromaze, the zombie pile or whatever. Usually you're more worried about using that card to remove their back row, and if you can get the fusion summon off, that's just an added bonus. Yeah, okay. I think this should be fine. I might regret these words later, but we'll take it for now. Cards who are lifted. Okay. So all of these are now free. We don't have anything. Okay. So Beaver Warrior is now free. I think that's okay because the Winged Dragon is still hit. I think this is okay. I do think the Beaver Warrior was kind of like a wide sweep that, okay, if we're not going to hit the ritual spells or the ritual monsters, let's try and hit the monsters that help facilitate the ritual summoning faster, which, okay, I think Beaver Warrior should be fine. I don't think that's going to bump Magician of Black Chaos to be a stronger option anymore. I feel like there's just other ritual monsters and other things that just do what it does better. So yeah, we'll see. Harpy Ladies 1 and 2 are free. Like I said already, this is the trade-off, I think, for banning completely 1, 2, and 3. They should, and they did release the other Harpy Ladies on the list so that you can do your other fusion summons instead. That's fine. And Legend Strike is back at 3. I think that is totally okay. There's no reason for I honestly think the card is a little bit outdated now, right? Like, there's not a lot of places that really utilize the Legend Strike as effectively anymore. So, while there's a few decks that would love to see this, I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue, right? You're not using it for the secondary effect. Really, most decks want to see this be used to get a level 4 monster out. Whether it's Legend Magician or not, I mean, it's up to the deck, but okay, so how do I feel about this list overall? It hit the things that I wanted it to hit, but not as hard as I would like them to be hit. This is still so random to me. I think that if now that they've decided, I mean, even the OCG, right? The OCG was like, what if we also do something with harpies? Like, there is some harpy merchant out there that paid Konami to be like, all right, let's do something with the harpies in both of your ban lists. And they're like, okay, you know what? Sure, why not? But yeah, we'll have to see what this really does. Because like I said, I don't think this is going to hurt Monarchs that much, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think this is going to be that devastating to Necromaid. I already see a few decks that don't run Resize, who run both Stitch and Resize, and now they can really just focus on one or the other. But yeah, I don't know. That's tough. This could be dangerous, but I'm okay with this being put to 2. This can never be free. I will say, this can never be completely free. I feel like, actually, Are they doing this because they're gonna release some of the other deities? Is that the reason? Is that the reason that they're doing this? Is because they're gonna start releasing more deities, or like, you know, flesh out an entire like Ship of Seven Treasures, like Deity of Seven Treasures deck? Because that would be cool. I do like that this deck, or like the Deity of Seven Treasures, are not all necessary, right? Like, I feel like it's a splashable, like, quote-unquote engine to be able to, you know, cheat out your level, all the other deities, your level 7 deities, like Beika, or is it Beika? That doesn't sound right. Maybe it is. I don't remember. Ryozai is the one I remember. That's the most famous one. But I like that concept. I don't know what they might do if they do a full deck that has this same concept, because then, like, almost every other card you can just freely special summon and just do something, right? Like, is that too strong, or is that not strong enough? We'll have to see. But I'd love to see more Deity of Seven Treasures. I feel like they learned their lesson from Ryozai. Ryozai is way too strong, but all the other deities afterwards have not been as prominent, as effective. I think Beidai, there you go, Beidai and Bika, that's what it is. Beidai and Bika, yes. Okay, so yeah, so I don't think those two have seen as much success. I feel like I've seen a few decks run Beidai just for the effect, but other than that, yeah, we'll have to see what they want to do with the rest of this theme, but we'll just have to see. As for these, I am quite interested to see what Harpies are going to be playing afterwards. I'll have to look at some deck lists, but Magician of Black Chaos I feel like is still, I would say around, like, if I had to do like ABC tier, I think it's still B tier. I don't think it's good enough to be an A tier. Maybe this pushes it up, but it's once again trying to hit a card that's already been hit, right? You're using Beaver to try and find something that might not be there. So maybe that's okay. And then, yeah, I don't think people are going to make us regret freeing Legend Strike. There's no way people are going to, you know, misuse Legend Strike to 3. I don't think that's going to be an issue. Anyway, yeah, that'll be it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. If you liked these types of videos, instead of like doing like a, you know, talking about it in a short, then yeah, let me know in the comments below. This is Protagonist signing out for today, and I will see you all next time. Peace.